This is Figures Sold Separately, episode 205, Jean-Luc and Wesley's Road Trip, August 6th, 2018.
Let's contact Steve. Check.
It's the Star Trek Command Communications Console for use with a Star Trek communicator sold separately. Each uses one 9-volt battery, not included. The Command Communications Console has a multicolor phaser light screen. You can broadcast up to 1,300 feet, and there's a Morse code key that you can buzz out loud or broadcast to the communicators. The Star Trek Command Communications Console. Communicators sold separately in pairs. From Mego.
For the first time in a long while, Ken, you joined me on the Xbox, the Xbone.
Yeah, the Xbone. Well, I'm on the Xbone a lot, but not on GTA with you guys.
Right. And for listeners, I swear to God, I do play other games. But
Nobody believes it.
But Ken was wanting to join back in and get back into GTA. A lot has changed and progressed in that game. For one, you were like, "Hey man, what level are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like a 230," and you're like, "Oh, I'm 37."
I was level 37 and in the lobby with you and your other buddy Tyler, and I'm like, when I first log in, there's somebody that shoots me in the back of the head as soon as I spawn, shoots me in the back of the head, and I look at it and this person's level 698. Yeah, and I'm like, this person is pushing 700 and I'm 37.
I know, and then I rush over there to pick you up in my armored vehicle so it'll stop spawn killing you, and then I have to get out and then battle this guy. And I think I killed him once, and then he just proceeded to
I don't think you killed him once.
I did. I killed him when he was on the bridge.
The guy's dressed like Uncle Sam in fishnets and high heels.
He is,
and a giant
Wow.
and you told me, oh, he's probably 12 years old.
Oh, he definitely is. Most of the people that play that game, yeah, and. It wasn't a great night. We just kept. There were some great things, but there were things that I've never experienced before that happened when you were on there. Like when we did a stand your ground, which you basically have to just battle off people, so that you can maintain this small little area from them. There were 8 people in that organization going up against
up at the observatory, and we enter into a lobby that's got 20 people in it, and we're like, oh, this is going to be good because there's 20 people here. This game isn't new, so the user base has tapered off a lot. So finding a lobby that's okay, but finding a lobby with a lot of people in it. So we finally found a lobby that had 20 people in it, and we all joined, and we're thinking, oh, this is going to be fun. There's 20 people. Turns out 15 of those 20 people are in a group together and are just
oh my God,
holding down this observatory.
What is in the game the Griff? Well, it's the real life counterpart of the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles.
Okay,
and just like the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, if you approach it, you immediately get shot with a sniper rifle.
I came in a fighter jet trying to get them. I think Tyler was coming in a armored assault helicopter. I forget how you were getting there. You were getting there on a
bicycle,
on a bike, on a skateboard.
I don't think you ever actually made it up there, but
no, I never made it up there.
We did.
I did a couple of times, but it was only because I died and then spawned there.
Right.
And immediately died.
And you could tell that they were all bored because no one was coming after them. And I surprised them. I just kind of evidently, I wasn't off the radar or anything. I just kind of showed up and jumped into the thing and started. I got about halfway to capturing it. Yeah. And then they all realized that I was in there and then just descended upon me. And it was just, for the next 10 minutes, it was just, let's kill Matt.
But the takeaway for me was, Matt and Tyler have been it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool if you'd log on and play with us and see how cool it is now. And we want to show you around and do all this stuff. And on the night I finally log in and join, it was just a horrible experience. We had almost no fun. We spent 2 hours and had almost no fun at all.
It was, but then
we couldn't find people to play with, and the people we could find to play with were kind of dicks, and we were going to do activities and earn a lot of money, and we ended up there was a
then I figured out that you had $3 million when you signed on.
You had started a stand your ground which was that like what we were talking about, but then nobody would come and try to take it. So like on one hand, that's an easy way to make money, but on the other hand, your job is to sit there for 15 minutes and just like do nothing.
It's not fun, and we have to. What we do is one of us will usually go away in a helicopter or somebody and like try to piss other people off so that they will come and fight us.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but the funny thing is you kind of got tired. It was late. It was like 11:45.
Yeah.
You ended up like, I'm going to go to bed. You signed off, and then like 3 people immediately came over because we were in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You signed off, and then 3 people came over, and we had an amazing fight that I had like 6 or 7 recorded clips from that were just amazing.
But there was this moment where we had started one of these events, and we were all standing on a beach on a pier. And it was just the 3 of us standing on this pier, just looking at each other in the game. And there was this moment where I was just like, so now we've just created like a virtual version of 3 guys sitting around like kicking rocks. Like, so what do you guys want to do? I don't know. What do you guys want to do? I don't know. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad we have video games now so that we don't have to do this in person.
Yeah, we can do it sitting on our couches.
We can stand around a virtual parking lot and loiter someplace with nobody.
It was Tyler's fault because he started it like in Paleto Bay, which is like this Northern California type town that is like it's like literally it's 7 game miles away from the downtown area where everybody else is. So like nobody's like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna go up there.
And
it's
you
like
guys have your helicopters, but Ken's still rocking his skateboard. So
I mean, I could steal a helicopter.
Yeah, and we would come pick him up.
Yeah, they would come pick me up, which in and of itself is kind of funny because everything in this game is so hyper realistic that it is kind of amusing to be just driving down the middle of a freeway and somebody like lands a helicopter, so you get out of your car, which pisses off all the drivers behind you, and you get into the helicopter, and you get out of the helicopter.
What the fuck, man?
And you like get out of the helicopter, and the helicopter takes off, and you look down, and there's like the car that you just abandoned in the middle of the road, and this giant traffic jam piled up behind it, and you're just like, man, I'm such a dick.
Well, it was fun.
So I'm either virtually loitering.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad we have now that I'm in my 30s, I'm glad I'm able to like virtually loiter.
Yeah.
Or cause virtual inconvenience to non-existent people.
Yeah.
It was funny hearing Ken's commentary and everything from the outside because he would make these kind of comments, and then it was like then he would point out how ridiculous everything we were doing is like Tyler and I will literally like spawn a helicopter, which would in real life be like a $2 million helicopter, and then we'll just like fly it for 6 miles and then jump out of it and just toss it away. It's like, yeah, we don't need that.
Of like this version of like Grand Theft Auto reality where like some of us just take fighter jets to work. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I need to get from Paleto Bay down to the city, so I'll just get a fighter jet.
It's like Matt leaves the parking lot, you know, or Matt leaves podcast and he goes down to the parking lot and goes, and like a fighter jet appears and he just gets in it and like pulls out and like 3 cars out on the road crash into him.
But of course it has to blink a couple times before it like pops into existence.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah.
Oh, good times.
But that was fun. I mean, it was fun. I doubt really.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Because I was telling Tyler, like, I don't think Ken's gonna be back.
Nah, I'll do it again. I don't think Tyler enjoyed playing with me though.
No, he did. He did.
Okay.
He did. It was just we kept getting in. He literally he basically rage quitted after a little after you got off.
Yeah.
Because while we had fun with what we were doing, we just kept running into, because usually we've started playing in auto aim lobby or in free aim lobbies, and on the Xbox
now you're getting technical.
Well, on the Xbox, GTA will it'll have most people play in auto aim lobbies where you basically
snap on.
You snap onto your enemy if they're within a certain range, because it's much easier when you're on a controller to do that. We had gone and we had started playing in free aim lobbies, and people are way more docile in free aim lobbies, and all of the 12-year-olds don't play there. So it's like you're with adults, and when you do get into a fight, it's for a good reason, and it's more challenging. But yeah, in the auto aim lobbies, you just run into people like Kim was talking about.
I'm just thinking in terms of like most of the games I play, a lot of things happen because they're video games, and I play a lot of single player stuff. And I know if I was in a single player game and like 45 minutes went by and I didn't see anything to do, I'd be like, man, this game sucks.
Well, what Tyler and I would do in those instances, and we did not do it as much because it's hard to coordinate with a third person, is one of us will go find a new lobby, and then we'll go, okay, I'm in a good one, and then he'll come to me.
See, I like multiplayer experiences, though, that are a little more like, like GTA was before when we played, and I think Red Dead Redemption will be like that when Red can't say it. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited about the first couple of times I get to play something like Far Cry 5 or something like that with a partner where it's like a co-op. I'm not as into PvP because that's where all the like douchebags kind of hang out.
I totally agree with you. I had a lot a lot of fun in Far Cry 5.
Like I want to play a story. Like I want to play, first of all,
I want to play with someone, not against them.
But also like the thing about having NPC bad guys is that, for one thing, they tend to be a lot more interesting than real life bad guys because you get to get absorbed into the narrative. Like at no point playing GTA, to me, with actual characters, like in the single player, sure, but like with actual people in GTA, like nobody gets into nobody gets into GTA Online for like the immense role play opportunities that are afforded there. Partially because the escapist fantasy of GTA is that like you're turning into this like massive criminal kingpin. Well,
the way it's supposed to be.
If there's 40 people in a lobby and they're all on the same trajectory of becoming like a mass criminal kingpin, then there's no story, and it just kind of devolves into like who has the coolest toys as we run around and shoot each other. And that's not like even in the single player experience, even if you were to create, and I think it would be really cool for them to, in future GTA games, have a more like Far Cry does, like have a co-op where you can spawn in with your friends, and in the single player populated world, which is populated a lot better than the online version in terms of like NPCs and things to do and stuff like that. I'd like to see a co-op version of something like that, just so that you can engage yourself in the story, because I think the idea for the online was that it was going to be kind of like that, but then they forgot that these are human beings, and it's really hard to play out your like gangster fantasy when the guy you're shooting at is dressed like Uncle Sam in fishnets.
Yeah. I have heard,
and that person has no desire to like participate in your role.
And that guy was being specifically an asshole because when
he might be interested in participating in somebody else's role play, but definitely not yours.
Well, when I extracted you from that when I extracted both of us from that situation, we were able to get away from him. He just proceeded to keep killing people that were like really low level because he's just like. One, he's being an asshole, and two, he's trying to like boost his KD, his kill death ratio.
Yeah.
So he's just picking on people that he can pick on. That's why he went immediately after you, and then I show up, and then he does start to go after me, but like he's still. But like, if you notice, when I went around the corner, he still just kept trying to go after you because you're the much easier target.
Plus, the armor on your car didn't work.
That was pissing me off. That glitch does piss me off. Anyway, by the way, I have heard that. Red Dead 2 will have a co-op mode, and I've heard that GTA 6 will too. So
cool!
Nice.
I am excited about because Far Cry has been doing pretty well with that. They kind of rolled it out gradually in 4, and then in 5 it was like a full-on thing.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about Far Cry 5's co-op though is that it doesn't save your progress for like when you sign on yourself and want to continue the game.
Oh.
It's like whoever the host is, you're moving their game forward, but you're not moving your game forward.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Well, it's fine though if you're planning to play the entire campaign with somebody. Like if you're not planning to play it by yourself at all.
Well, no, it doesn't work because see, if I play the entire campaign with Tyler, then Tyler progresses all the way to the end of the game, then I don't. Like I've seen it.
You're not like playing along with him?
I am, and I see everything progress.
Okay.
But, like, if I were to go back and sign on just to bang around and do my own thing, I'd be way back at the beginning.
No, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, it is just one game that both of you were playing on, so...
Yeah, but I don't get any of the achievements.
But it'd be the same way, like, if it was a couch co-op game. Like, if you were playing Borderlands at somebody else's house, and you were sitting there playing couch co-op, it's whoever's house you're at, and whoever's game you're playing on.
But Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is another one of my favorite games, Tyler and I played that whole thing through together in co-op, and it progressed both of us through the entire game. Like, I've now finished that game, even though I did it with somebody else. I don't know.
Car 2, you going to learn to drive FPSs one day?
Yeah, for sure.
First-person shooters?
Yeah, totally.
You got to teach you got to know how to BioShock one day.
Yeah.
I still like third-person better, though.
I do, too. So does Carly.
Yeah. It's true.
Third, because I want to see my character.
Yeah.
And
especially when you have cool outfits and stuff.
Right.
Like fishnets and a top hat.
And a top hat and an American flag.
Yeah.
It also, I think it simulates peripheral vision better.
Yeah.
Roughly you can see about what you'd be able to see with real, like 180 degree
with GTA 5, they introduced now you can go to first person view, and everyone was like, okay, well, there's something I'll never use.
Tyler plays specifically fully in first person.
Oh, does he really?
Why? Mm-hmm. What's the benefit for that?
He's just used to it, and there are some benefits with aiming and stuff, and the way that you
I would
can
imagine
move while
driving
you're aiming.
And stuff is miserable.
That's why he's a terrible driver in that game. I'm literally,
you got to be able to see what's around you.
So we're so good at it now because we played for so long. Right around the time that you and I started playing, that's when Tyler and I started playing, and we've been playing ever since. And
you can't see around corners and all kinds of stuff.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it does for sniping and stuff. It's better. Yeah. But so what we've done is we've just kind of we know each other's roles. My role is as the flyer and the driver, and then
the wheelman.
I will drop him off, and he will kill people.
I just kind of see this
I can kill
at
people
the
too,
beginning of a Grindhouse movie where you've got Matt. And there's the freeze frame with Matt, the wheelman.
Yeah, I'm just a better
Tyler, the muscle.
Yeah, whenever we do races and stuff, I just smoke him completely. It's just I'm a better flyer and a better driver than he is. But man, running and gunning, man, that dude will kill everybody.
Unless there's an observatory.
No, he was doing quite well too, but we just got overwhelmed. I mean, it was just we were killing them, and they weren't that good.
I wasn't. I didn't get a kill all night.
Well, you were a mile away. You could never get up that hill to get to us.
It's really hard. I was on a Segway.
Well, and it would just, once you got killed, which was instantaneously because we were all getting killed, then it would spawn you a mile and a half away. I don't know what it was doing there.
Good times.
But yeah, I mean, they weren't very good. We were better than them. They were just... They had the numbers.
That sounds like the saltiest thing in the world. They weren't good.
I will say,
we died a lot.
I'm pretty good at not getting salty. Tyler...
They had the high ground.
Tyler does get salty. He got really salty last night.
Yeah.
I'm just whatever. Anyway, that's enough GTA thought.
Yeah. So this is FSS, figures sold separately.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. You've got
podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've almost got our website back up and ready to roll, so back up updated.
So Ken showed me that the new website. It's really looking good.
Hopping.
It's going to
be really easy for you guys as listeners to just be able to go to fsspodcast.com and then see with cover art all of our previous episodes.
All our episodes. We're going to sort out some of our
mobile friendly,
our best of, which was always a silly thing when we had 50 episodes. But now that we have over 200, it's kind of nice for people who want to get kind of a cross section of what we do to see some of our
and we've had some amazing episodes.
We really have, and I want to be able to sort some of those out so that people can just look at those. And for people that want to either appear on the show or book us to come to an event, it's a good kind of contact place to get an idea of some of the things that we can do at events and establishments and stuff like that. So
talking about you congregate, we want to come back.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff, cool places, and people we've gotten to talk to over the years. And there's from time to time we even broadcast live from somewhere, and people can chat with us, and that's a good place to do that too. So it's a lot of opportunity there. So, and engage with us on social media, of course, at FSS Podcast on Twitter. And
pretty much everywhere.
And FSS Podcast on Facebook as well. So like us and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends. We really appreciate it, and it helps grow our listenership. And we always, those of you that do listen on a regular basis, we know you, we see you, and that's amazing. So, but I'm Ken at Multiverse AVL on pretty much everywhere.
I'm Car2. You can find me on Instagram at car2.d2.
And I'm Matt. You can find me on Twitter at NCMattJ and on Instagram at NCMattJ828.
Cool.
Which is our area code. 828. Hashtag 828 is
now they can find us.
Yeah.
Now they can find our private phone numbers by
they just look up 828 and you're like, God, it's all of Western fucking North Carolina. I don't know where they are.
I don't think any of us actually has an 828 phone number anyway.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, then call Matt at 828. Guess the rest.
246. Not giving you the rest.
828 podcast stud. Or is that just your license plate?
It's too many letters, man. It can only be 8 letters.
PODCASTUD. Podcast stud.
Podcast.
You could do like PD.
Oh, podcast stud. Clever as fuck over here.
CSTUD.
I almost want to just stop down for a second, grab a laptop, go to the NCDMV, and see if that is taken.
Yeah.
That's got to be taken already.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Show title.
Yeah. Because that's going to be great for SEO.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
wait, is it STD? No.
You just need to make sure you lock that down before.
Oh, you can't do. Yeah, you can't include STD in it.
It's STUD. PODCSTUD.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There is no way that works.
Well, it's if we don't do it now, somebody's going to hear this and they're going to do it themselves. So.
Yeah, people are racing to the DMV website.
You got to get the .com, the .us, the .net, the .org, and then get it on your license
plate. So
secure that brand.
The big thing to talk about today, and this is really timely because it happened
yesterday.
It happened yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
But the details came out this morning. But part of it was Patrick Stewart yesterday made a post saying that he was really excited about returning to the role of Jean-Luc Picard. From Star Trek: The Next Generation. And very excited about doing that because he's been asked about that most recently. I think we even mentioned this on the show when he was doing Logan and saying he was kind of excited about closing out his role as Professor Xavier. And that was the last time he intends to play that role, and he's retiring that role. And somebody asked him in an interview, would you your other iconic role being Captain Jean-Luc Picard, would you return to that role? And he kind of said, well, never. I would never say never, but I think we're finished. Like, I think we've said what we have to say with that character. And to hear then at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention this morning, for him to come out and be introduced to say that it's time for, with knowing the way that the Next Generation over 25 years ago now
it's crazy.
Really impacted, and I'm talking about like ending over 25 years ago, but was something that really brought a lot of light and perspective, and almost in a political sense, on the scene during its time, that it's time to have Jean-Luc Picard back, which is a really interesting way to put that. But the headline of it is that that the next CBS. Everyone kind of assumed that this would somehow roll into Discovery because Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis were on the set of Star Trek Discovery, probably in a directorial capacity.
Yeah.
But, of course, everybody kind of went nuts when they tweeted that.
Oh, my God.
They should know better than to tweet things like that. But the presumption was that there would be some way that he would maybe, I don't know, appear in like a
a time traveler episode. They always have one of
some
those.
type of thing like that. But or like, at the end of Enterprise, where it's kind of like this weird flashback type of deal.
Yeah.
Weird cameo. But
Matt, you look like you're about to come out of your seat.
Oh, he's about to say something.
I'm so stoked.
But for there to be a but the announcement was that the next CBS All Access Star Trek show will feature Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard in a leading role. Now, is this the further adventures of the Enterprise? They're not saying that, and of course, we don't see we don't see a lot of other people from that cast lining up to do this, and reassembling that cast would be impossible at this point. But there are people that have been itching to return to their roles, like Michael Dorn.
Oh,
so
really?
Who knows what we would see? Probably not Brent Spiner. But
Brent Spiner is going to figure out a way to get on this show, and you know it.
Yeah, well, but Matt, what are you bursting to say? Just say your thing.
I've literally just been sitting over here nodding, like you guys are saying I'm bursting to say something.
Well, you're the Trekkie of the group, so what's your sink your teeth into this, man?
Start. Okay, so first of all, why do we need, what is this show going to be about? are we going to be following Jean-Luc Picard in his retirement while he gardens in like the Bordeaux region of France?
Yes, I would watch the fuck out of that.
I hope so.
Oh my god,
Jean-Luc Picard gardening.
Oh my god, I would watch that so hard.
Jean-Luc Picardner.
Don't get me wrong, I love Patrick Stewart, and I would love to see him like in a cameo appearance or maybe a recurring character role in another Star Trek series that takes place, maybe 20 years after, or an appropriate amount of time after, Star Trek: The Next Generation. But I don't want to see him in a recurring role. One, I love Patrick Stewart,
supposed to be in a
but he's
central role.
Getting old. He's like,
yeah.
Like if you saw him during his announcement, I mean, he looks great for his age. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And the guy is like married to like a 31-year-old.
Yeah,
That'll keep you young.
yeah, it will.
But I mean, did you hear his voice? He just sounds older, and
Yet not seeing the downside.
That could be really interesting.
Okay,
I mean,
all right, now we're seeing now Cartoo's kinks are coming out a little
Peter
bit.
Capaldi just did a run as the Doctor,
And I kind of hated it, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm really excited.
You're
about
very ageist, apparently.
No, it sounds like that, but I'm the oldest person on the show.
Maybe that's what this is.
Get off my lawn.
And bald. You're oldest and baldest.
I love Patrick Stewart, but like, also, I want different. So okay, this is a thing that's going on right now. We're remaking or we're reimaging or reimagining different things. There's a new fucking Magnum PI on right now, which did not need to be remade because if you have watched Magnum PI, the old original one, it's fucking amazing. So don't need to touch.
But some things are cool. The new Blade Runner was really good by all accounts. Creed is an amazing boxing series.
Nobody listens to Creed, dude.
No. Oh God. I walked right into that one.
You really did. That's a throwback.
I mean, how many people would have said we don't need anything more in the Rocky Balboa saga? And they're like, well, what if we did like if you had the pitch for Creed, Apollo Creed's son comes back and gets trained by, I'd be like, man, that is the sloppiest cash-in idea of all time, and it turned out to be one of the best sports movies ever made.
I don't know. I crave more Trek. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm sure it'll be good. But one of the things I liked about I still like about Discovery is, and I'm a little disappointed that they're bringing back the. Can we? Have you guys watched? Have you guys all caught up on?
We are not caught
Enterprise?
up, but I feel like you can spoil it. I'm okay with that. Are you okay
on
with
Discovery?
That?
You mean?
Discovery.
Yeah. No, we're not. But you've already spoiled it for us.
So turn off if you don't want to hear this for the next minute and a half. The very last scene in season 1 of Discovery is the Enterprise shows up, and they're like, "We're being hailed by the Enterprise." They make a big deal of it, and that's your
OG
cliffhanger.
Enterprise.
Yes, the pre-Kirk, captained by Captain Pike.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Captain Pike is a central character in season 2 of Discovery. It's played by an excellent casting choice, Anson Mount, who we previously saw in Hell on Wheels.
Anson Mount is in season.
He plays Captain Pike.
Does he
beardless?
Does he look like Jeffrey Hunter? Does he have sort of that Jeffrey Hunter
He's a great choice for Captain Pike. He kind of has
not that I think that's important. I mean, I didn't think it was important with young Han Solo. I didn't think it was important with them recasting Kirk. I think you having the je ne sais quoi is more important than do you look like Shatner if you're going to play Kirk? Same deal.
Yeah, he has the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah,
Anson Mount. Look, I'm straight as narrow, but goddamn, Anson Mount is a handsome man.
Holy shit!
And I absolutely loved him in Hell on Wheels.
Yeah.
If you have not watched Hell on Wheels,
with Cole Meany, by the way.
Oh yeah, and
cool.
Common for the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Amazing show, and he does a great job, and I'm sure he'll do a great job as Captain Pike. But why we got to bring the goddamn Enterprise into this? Just allow a great Trek show, because I'm telling you what, Discovery is a show that should have been binged. It was built to be binged, and you can tell that once you get through it.
So this is a show with Cole Meany and Common?
Yeah.
2 men, by the way, whose names mean the opposite of their personalities.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Common is fucking amazing in that show.
So good.
Have you seen the show?
I need to get on the show.
It's so
What is it?
It's called Hell on Wheels. It is about
Where can I watch it? Where can our listeners watch it?
Yeah, Netflix.
Okay, cool.
I think it's on Netflix. It is about the building of the Transcontinental Railroad. And kind of...
So it's a historical drama.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, man, I'm all over that.
But the building of the Transcontinental Railroad is an excuse to have the storylines. Like, the storylines aren't necessarily...
So there's a large Asian cast.
In the second... No, because they are... in the first 2/3 of the show, you are on the eastern side, building west, so it's lots of Irish and freed blacks. Because this is post-Civil War.
Right, sure.
Okay. So,
and as you get to the Western territories, that's where
it kind of switches later in, and then you see a lot more, specifically they're Chinese.
Chinese immigrants.
Yeah. So if you've ever wondered why there are so many Chinese in San Francisco, then you should research the Transcontinental Railroad. And that's why.
And a lot of other reasons.
A lot of other reasons, yeah. But that's a big part of it.
Sure.
But anyway, digressing. It looks like it'll be done well. It looks like it's going to be fun. But I do kind of want more Trek, but I want to get away from the tired themes and the past. Like, let's go follow some other people. And that's why I've really craved some of those ideas we had before Discovery came out that were floating around. Like, let's do Federation CSI. Let's do Federation Police Force. Let's do a political drama set in this universe,
like a rescue squad or like a rescue vessel. And that was one you pitched a long time ago that I always thought would be really interesting. Like to have like a medevac.
Yeah,
like an ER but in space, like where they followed the ship that Beverly Crusher ended up captaining in the alternate future of where it's like, you know, their job is like go places that are in like basically the intergalactic equivalent of like Haiti, and they're like a relief force or something like that.
And honestly, there are two camps in this. That's one of the reasons I loved Voyager, because Voyager threw them 70,000 light years onto the other side of the galaxy.
They hijacked Lost in Space, and we're like, what if we did Lost in Space in Star Trek?
Right.
And threw two crews together that didn't get along.
And you know what you very, very rarely ever saw in Voyager was like cameos from other people. They did it a couple times, but they were done sporadically and it worked.
Yeah.
But it was a different storytelling opportunity. We get to see new aliens and stuff.
And you and I both liked Enterprise, but I will say one of the things that worked least about Enterprise is it was the least original premise out of even Deep Space Nine, and like Deep Space Nine was kind of doing its own thing, and Voyager kind of did its own thing. And I think
Deep Space Nine was a total ripoff of Babylon 5.
Yeah, but the idea of
first it was.
So for a while, I think Star Trek spinoffs were done with like, what other shows are popular or have been popular, and can we do them in like a Star Trek? Can we do a Star Trek version of that? And I like Voyager for the same reason, and Enterprise was one of the weaker. Like I like it. I can objectively look at it as one of the weaker shows, and I get why that is like that. Why that's put forth. But I always like seeing backstories of things, which is one of the reasons that I like. I say that because I say that only a couple of episodes after we just said, why do we have to do a backstory of everything? We were railing like Han Solo, but at the same time, I'm interested. Well, see, the thing with Patrick Stewart, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, where will they go? But I don't feel like they would take Patrick Stewart out of Mothballs if it wasn't going to be like if they didn't have an idea. And I don't. And the one
after seeing what they did with Discovery, I trust them.
Well, but the one thing that Patrick Stewart had said when he said, I think we're kind of done with Jean-Luc Picard, is it would have to be something where I could get really excited about what we were doing.
Swear to God, if it's in the fucking Bizarro universe, I'm just.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna call CBS. To cancel my subscription.
I doubt we'll see that. Aside from being able to watch Patrick Stewart play a bad guy for however many seasons they decide to do.
Have you guys gotten that far into the Discovery where they go to the alternate?
No,
Bizarro universe.
Not yet.
Yeah, I thought we did.
No, we've gotten into Deep Space Nine, but not Discovery.
No, we started Discovery.
Yeah, but we didn't.
But did you get far enough into the Discovery to where they go to the alternate universe?
No.
No. I thought we did.
No, I don't think we did.
It was like halfway through.
Yeah, no, we're like 4 episodes in. But,
okay.
But
spoiler alert.
Yeah. But
they hit that fucking well again.
Well, they're always going to hit that well.
Yeah,
there's not a show yet that has not done that.
Okay, let me slightly.
Actually, TNG didn't do that.
Yes, the fuck they did.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yeah, they did.
That's where Spock with the goatee comes from.
No, that's TOS. The next generation. Did the next generation?
TNG did not. Yeah, you're right. I don't think
they did something similar. They did the alternate universe where the Enterprise was the war vessel, the one with the Enterprise, yesterday's Enterprise. The episode, was that the mirror universe, or was that just an alternate? I don't remember.
I'll have to go back.
But you know what I'm talking about, where it's been
like a decade since I've actually
the war
watched
vessel,
TNG.
where they've got like the bridge of the Enterprise, but it's redressed with like one of those big like. Wait, are
you talking about Enterprise NX-01?
No, I'm talking about in the Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I think you might be confusing
the episode Yesterday's Enterprise. Dude, okay. I know what I'm talking about. I'm using episode names here.
Yeah, you're right.
The episode Yesterday's Enterprise, where Tasha Yar comes back, but it's the alternate universe Tasha Yar.
Oh,
and she feels like she's not, like, she does, like, the timeline is different, and she's going around going like, I don't think I belong here. Because something happened back with the Enterprise C that changed the timeline, and now there's an alternate version of the Enterprise where the Klingons are still antagonists and they're fighting them, and the Enterprise D is like a war vessel, and Tasha Yar's like on board and ends up sacrificing herself.
Let me make a quick
spoiler alert for a 30-year-old episode.
Let me make a quick point here, and I'm going to contradict myself a little bit when I say this. But for instance, there are some really funny people that do Let's Plays, kind of more like role play stuff, and they do it through GTA. I'm not bringing GTA back into this, but but like they refuse to do a concept more than once, and they just that's regurgitated content. We're not going to do that again. Like, and I'm like, no. I'm a viewer. I want you to redo that again because it's funny as hell. Because I'm not necessarily watching it for what you're doing. I'm watching it for what you guys are saying and how funny you are in the situation. I want them to do that with Star Trek too, because I think that they feel like they can't just do a ship going out and exploring anymore. And I'm like, no, guys, I want you to feel
Discovery
free.
Doing that? Kind
of, but it's much more militaristic. It is getting back to their roots.
You have
a little
the
bit.
Orville. That'll scratch that itch.
I will kind of say that the Orville is kind of the Orville is way more cartoonish than I think Discovery is. But it's more cartoonish in a way that TNG was. TNG was kind of a little cartoonish.
Yeah, especially the first couple of seasons.
Carpet everywhere. But
no, that's where Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes were cited. It was on the on the Orville set.
Yeah, they
were they directing or were they doing cameos?
I know that Frakes did. He directed a couple of episodes.
Okay, cool.
He directed a couple episodes of Discovery, I think too.
I think so too.
And every other Star Trek show, and like every other show, third of the movies.
Dude, he did like a third of the episodes of Psych. I mean, he's a major director.
I think I will watch this show if it is this, and we always speculate about these things to see how wrong we turn out to be. Number one, I think it's got to be a good idea because I don't think Patrick Stewart would have signed on if it wasn't a great idea. I think it's got to be culturally relevant. I think it's got to have something to say, which I think Discovery does, and I think this will as well. Am I excited about catching up to Jean-Luc Picard in his senior years?
God damn, you've got to watch Battlestar Galactica.
I have no idea.
I know, right?
But if it is this, I will be satisfied. If Jean-Luc Picard is retired, and Wesley Crusher shows up
as he's gardening
with Will Wheaton with his magnificent modern day beard.
Oh my God, yes.
Will Wheaton shows up as
Wesley. Damn it, Wesley.
And the whole thing is just a buddy cop, like grizzled old veteran. Which now, like, Will Wheaton is borderline grizzled old veteran himself.
He's only like 2 years older than I am.
So like Will Wheaton is in his like 40s or something at this point.
He's 45, I think. I just looked it up the other day.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So like the whole thing is just like a middle-aged Wesley Crusher taking elderly Jean-Luc Picard on like a road trip to, I don't know. Something.
No, I want it to be an actual road trip, like in a vehicle on the roadways through Europe or through America in the 24th century.
Yeah,
I'm writing the show for you, Paramount, or CBS, like that would be an amazing show because you know what we always do.
Do you really think the world is itching for more Wesley Crusher?
Dude,
like they really should have had Will Wheaton come out and announce this
gold.
And be like, what?
Wait a minute,
the Wesley Chronicles.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna pitch something to you here.
Oh, Matt had an idea.
Here we go.
I hear you've got a new script for me.
I got a script for you, CBS.
I've had an apostrophe.
Okay. Mockumentary. Okay. We're following the storied Admiral Jean-Luc Picard around with Captain Wesley Crusher, and they're both retired now. Or no, I guess he would be like a lieutenant commander. And they set out each season.
He's 46, so he's pushing the 46. Age that Picard was in the show.
And they both set out in like, let's figure out like, okay, like maybe a classic car or maybe it's just like, it's just a modern vehicle that you would drive in the roads. Because let me tell you something. Americans are never giving up their goddamn cars.
Yeah,
you can have self-driving cars all you want. People going to take road trips.
It's the car from the beginning of the 2009 Star Trek reboot that Kirk drove off the cliff.
Yeah, but that was like a 65 like Corvette or something. 65 convertible.
So at this point, it's like a 400-year-old car, but it's still got the Beastie Boys tape.
But those two get into like a car, quote unquote, and then they like drive across country. They drive across the U.S. or they drive across Europe. They go touring.
And the reason I like that car now is because it's got to play Sabotage with like
and
Patrick
then it has to have
Stewart.
like a little Nokia phone screen in there.
Yes.
But like they travel around Europe or they travel around America together, and they're like dynamic is what they're playing off of all the time. It's literally going to be what's the show?
Like Top Gear?
Like Top Gear, but in the 21st century with Wesley and with Jean-Luc Picard.
It's a sitcom, and it's called Shut Up, Wesley.
No, it's not a sitcom. It's a mockumentary, and they're just going to follow them around while they're kind of like seeing the sights, and then we get to see like what America looks like in the 24th century. You know, like, hey, we're driving to Mount Rushmore, but we're going to stop in like Muncie, Indiana, and we're going to go to this, and maybe they're foodies, and they're going to stop and they're going to have like donuts and like. But of course, they're not going to pay for the donuts because there's no money in the future. Like,
but they're like Ferengi donuts.
Oh yeah, like Ferengis are making donuts and charging out rice prices for it.
Because every Star Trek food is an Earth-based food, but with like a planetary species attached to it. So it's always like, oh, you're drinking.
These are Andorian donuts.
Yeah,
and they have blue frosting.
Because that's exactly how Star Trek food works. It's always like, oh, you're having Vulcan funnel cakes.
And their drinks, the drinks of those alien races always have to be the same color as those alien races. Andorian ale's always blue, and then like Vulcan drinks are always green.
Well, they never eat something that's like that. They never eat anything on Star. Like you would imagine that yes, there's going to be a certain amount of Star Trek food that like looks like a plate of worms or something like that. But it's all Star Trek food looks like something. Like if it's from another planet, it never just looks like a steak.
Right.
And like that's like broccoli, but it's like broccoli from another planet, so it just looks a different. Like, but it still looks like a vegetable, and you would eat it, and it's appetizing. It's like, no, everybody in the future, it's always like bright purple beverage with like a plate of.
And it has to be smoking, like it's got dry ice sprinkled on it. But think about it. Like, okay, we're in a society in the 24th century where there's not really any money, and you have these replicators that can basically make whatever you want on demand, and it is going to be the epitome of whatever that thing is. Like, the best mac and cheese ever made is going to come out of that replicator.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
But you know that, like, there are still going to be foodies in the 24th century that are like, no, I don't want replicate. I want to go to like eat really grown vegetables, and I want like bespoke beef that was raised in someone's backyard and slaughtered the old fashioned way, and it's real steak, and you know, and then they're just going to drive around and do this. And
I could totally see that.
Yeah, I think it'd be really expensive because then you have to like do a lot of CGI and sets and stuff. But I think it would be such a cool concept.
Or they could just...
It would be all on location filming.
They could just find out which actors are willing to come back from like all previous Star Trek shows and just do like...
Driving around in cars, getting coffee.
You have like a middle-aged...
You've got like with Jean-Luc Picard!
Oh my God!
We could call it officers... we call it... Trekkers and Picard getting coffee.
Yeah.
No, getting Earl Grey tea.
Oh, there you go. And then it would be like, so broccoli, what have you been up to for the last 25 years?
Like middle-aged 7 of 9, like
Yeah. Like, has she gotten more human over the years?
Jerry Ryan can still do that.
Oh yeah, Jerry
And she
Ryan
would.
do that. Oh, she
Yeah.
totally would.
Oh,
Kate Mulgrew.
I need to write this up and pitch it.
Yeah, seriously.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So to support our Patreon for Matt's mockumentary.
Matt's mockumentary, which I feel like just seems like the kind of thing that Patrick Stewart would be excited about doing.
Yeah, it does.
And you have it produced by the same people that did The Office.
And it could be a web series.
and then Wesley Crusher is just constantly looking at the camera, going, cocking his head, and here's the old man going on again about this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm digging it, guys.
This could be a thing. We could launch it. I'm optimistic. I think it'll be cool.
Look, they're talking about other Trek shows. By all means.
As long as it's not... Well, Discovery's done really well. And it's like one of the most pirated shows in the history of the world other than Game of Thrones. But... because didn't they say like the first season of Game of Thrones has been pirated over 1 billion times?
Yeah.
Which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But...
That's why CBS All Access should go commercial. Just it should be like Hulu. You know, give me a version for like $3 a month that has commercials
What I
on it.
don't want is
Actually, they do
what
that.
I don't want is something with Jean-Luc Picard that is just a vehicle for them to every now and then have like a vintage character pop up as a guest star and make it all of it. Like you can do some of that, but I don't want it to be like what I don't want is like the gratuitous like, oh, where are we going today? Oh, you'll never believe who's coming by the ship today. It's going to be, Deanna Troi is and it's just like a showcase of that kind of thing, or like Catherine Janeway is going to show up and
every season
pal around
every season,
because then it'll turn into exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but do every season road trip across somewhere else.
So it's either not that at all, or it's got to be entirely that.
Season 3, we're driving from Perth, Australia, all the way to Sydney with Guinan. Through the desert.
Or it's this is the 24th century, so they're driving from Sydney, Australia to San Francisco because there's now a bridge.
So it's just like weeks of them in the middle of the ocean.
It's a 98-hour drive.
Be fucking hell longer than that, dude.
There's a lot of bottles of Romulan ale on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, so I'm optimistic. As long as we're making new Star Trek stuff, I'm all for it.
Maybe it'll just be a lot of veiled indictments of the Trump administration.
And
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, and in a future episode, we can talk about how I am not very optimistic about the Quentin Tarantino version of Star Trek. I'm a little worried.
I think it would be interesting to see a version of the far future, because remember, we're going back to this will be the farthest along in the canon that we've gone. It's very much like what Star Wars is doing now. This will be as far in the future of the main original timeline as we will have gone, presumably, assuming there's no like time travel involved. And it'll be interesting to see maybe if I think it might be interesting to do something where maybe the Federation is falling apart, or it's reached its critical mass, like all of the doomsaying of like, utopian communist societies will always fail, and maybe it is. Maybe like this utopic, the Federation of Planets that's always created this, like we don't have any money and there's no war anymore, and there's no sickness. Maybe all of that was like a golden age, and like all golden ages do, there are people who have undermined it via greed and that kind of thing, and so maybe it's more of it would be interesting to see an exploration of that, where the reason that Picard, who's this idealist, has to come out of retirement and maybe lead a resistance of some kind and make it like where they are the more scrappy underdog anti-establishment people, almost an exploration of the lamest movie being Insurgent, or what the middle Star Trek TNG movie.
Cartoon, does this motherfucker not need to watch BSG?
Yeah, I know.
But my God, like everything you were saying is BSG is gonna scratch that itch for you.
but you get what I'm. Well, if there's one thing we've learned, it's that Star Trek, when they roll out new series, they like to be like, what's the show we can just completely knock off and put in the Star Trek universe? And maybe BSG. Maybe this will be something like that.
I mean, BSG definitely.
Maybe somebody came along and dropped a nuke on Starfleet headquarters.
Oh my God!
Like they did, like Caprica.
Yeah, I
have seen the first season of BSG, so I know what the setup is.
No, you haven't. You've seen the miniseries. I
saw the first season.
You saw the 3-hour miniseries.
What?
We've already been over this. You saw like the 3-hour miniseries is what you saw.
I saw what says season 1 on Netflix.
Well, one, it's not on Netflix.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
And what?
Did you see the first episode was called 33, where the Cylons attack them every 33 minutes, and none of them have had sleep, and they're all stressed out.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen it.
Okay.
Because that's like the best. That's one of my favorite shows. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Me
the
too.
very first one.
So good.
It's so good.
I mean, I saw the beginning was like a mini movie, but then I saw what they called like the entire first season.
Okay. All right. Well, it's probably been a while then.
Yeah, because I saw like the one with like the prison ship and
with Tom Zarek, who's played by Apollo from the original series,
Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch.
All that happened, and I think where I knocked off was where like half of everybody was apparently dead, like shot. Like the captain got shot in the chest.
Oh my god!
And that's the beginning.
Okay, maybe you have seen it then.
Yeah, but he still left it like.
But I left it and it's a big cliffhanger, and I was like, "Fuck this," and I went on and did other things.
Oh my god!
How did you not watch the next episode?
Seriously,
I had to live my life.
Oh my god!
All right, but no, I'm
not a giant like star thing nerd like you guys.
God, you fucking nerd shame us, motherfucker. What the fuck?
I love you guys.
I will say this. Anytime that Star Trek has gone and delved into the politics of the future, it has been amazing.
Yeah.
And I will cite Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Discovery goes into some of that, especially the part that you haven't seen. We're still working our way through
DS9, but we're in the third season, which means things are about to get awesome.
That's when things are about to kick off.
Because by all accounts, beginning of season 4 is when everything gets amazing.
Yeah, so. about the last part of season 3 into season 4.
It's already pretty solid.
Shit.
It's already pretty solid.
But you're going to get a lot of political shit. And Ronald D. Moore ran Deep Space Nine. Yeah. You are going to see a lot of parallels in style.
Gosh,
but that's where it's like it's still very episodic, and it does the same thing I know that Enterprise does.
It goes very serialized though.
Serialized,
after about 4,
right? Exactly. And I know it gets more serialized, which in Enterprise was the worst part of the show when they did the season where it was all like the.
Because it was a stupid storyline to go serialized on.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
All right, well, you know what, man, any new Star Trek on television, bring it on.
Right on.
Yep.
And if you are one of those people like my friend Remington who pisses and moans that it's only on CBS All Access, shut up, pay the $6.95 or whatever it is because you won't regret it. And also, there's just a ton of back content on CBS All Access that you can go watch all the Magnum PIs and everything. So definitely,
yeah. So check that out.
Rad.
Do it.
Well, we are a little behind the 8 ball on this, but tune in next week and we will talk no more Star Trek. This is we haven't really done any Star Trek in a while, so this was nice. But we are going to break down the roundup from San Diego Comic-Con, which even as we're speaking now was a few weeks back, so it's like a month late. But you know what?
It's what you've come to expect. From us.
That's right.
It's what you've come to expect. I mean, we'll brain break, but like I'm still playing video games that came out a decade ago, so.
Yeah.
And giving everyone my hot take on what I think of like video games that everybody else played back in high school. But so pick it up next week. We'll let you know when the site goes live again, and we're looking forward to talking to you then. In the meantime, tweet at us.
It should be though said, you can still right now go to fsspodcast.com and see all of our past episodes. We're just going to give you a better interface for it.
Absolutely,
yeah, it's going to be cool.
It's going to be right interface.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my god!
All right, I'm Matt.
I'm disgusted. No, just kidding.
And I'm embarrassed.
I'm Cartu.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. God damn it.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Figures Sold Separately is a multiverse podcast produced by TurboFanProductions.com. Please remember to subscribe to the show and follow and talk with us on Facebook and Twitter. Our theme music is by I Fight Dragons. Hear more about them at ifightdragons.com. Figures Sold Separately is copyright 2018, all rights reserved.